All right, we're back with another one of these house store judgments. Of course, it's another Japan thing. Something flew into my eye, but I don't know. I did some research on this, found this video, and I think it's a pretty cool video. I think it's the right one. I don't know. We're gonna watch it in any case. If you don't know, Japan's yen has recently hit basically rock bottom. It's been going down and fast, backwards but fast. And the whole economy is suffering because of that. And that's what happens when your currency starts to, decrease in value. But yeah, I heard some stories about something like overseas investors and stuff. They would borrow money from Japan, convert the money, and then invest it into other stocks, and basically just loan that money. But because Japan's culture is so trusting or something, they don't ask you to pay it back. They trust that you're going to pay it back. So these people just take the loans and then they forget about it later on. Well, not forget about it, just leave it be as long as they possibly can, of course. And recently, Japan's been like contacting them, the banks, and just been like, "Hey, that loan you took? Are you going to start paying it back?" Which I think's pretty good idea. So if you get that fluctuation of money and that people have loaned, maybe that'll increase your entire standing of your currency. I'm pretty sure it will, especially if they are going to pay the loans back in international currency. It should increase the yen's value a bit. But yeah, we're going to watch this video right now. The yen is still pretty strong. Well, the dollar is still pretty strong compared to the rand. So we're going to watch this apartment tour video for 1,800 a month. That's about 32,000 rand a month, which is more than most people's salary in South Africa. So we'll see what that can get you there. um, yeah, I don't know how much you pay for apartments in South Africa. The only one I've like stayed in was like a 5,000 rand one, and it was literally just one room, kitchen, place for bed. I've got a huge desk and a bathroom, and uh, yeah, that's basically all I had, and that was 5K. But it's also because of it was right next to the university I attended, so it was a pretty hefty price, but it was worth it because I didn't have to drive to the university. So let's jump into this video and hopefully see what's going on. Hopefully my voice doesn't cut out. I've realized if I use this scene, my voice cuts out sometimes. I don't know why that is happening. Hopefully it's fixed already. I have played around with a few things. I know I talked a lot, but let's just jump into this video, of course. Yeah. One thing I talked about my lecturer with is the public transport in South Africa. The thing is, we had trains. People dug up the rails and sold them for money. So we've got a lot of trains just sitting underneath bridges and stuff, basically not in use. And our cities are being basically just demolished. We are a suburb living area, suburb live. Yeah, I think most people live in like the suburb life in South Africa. We don't actually have a city life. So that was an interesting topic that me and my lecturer discussed things about,
Hey guys, it's Barrett. So today I'm going to be
Sub
showing you
Garrett.
my
I
one
I
bedroom
had Barrett. Oh
apartment
yeah,
here
it
in
is Barrett.
Tokyo. The last time I did an apartment tour here in Tokyo, it was for my
Just look
1K
how
studio,
neat it is.
1K meaning one room and a
Yes,
kitchen.
you.
Today it's going to be a 1 LDK, which means a
Something.
one
Someone just tried to poison me. I'm pretty sure. Holy shit. I don't know what happened, but it felt like I swallowed a coal or something. Holy shit.
bedroom, living room, dining area, and kitchen. I'm going to show you as much as I can about this place. So come on,
Yeah.
let's take a look. I live in an area called Kyoto. It's in Tokyo's
Kyoto.
Setagaya ward and about 15 minutes west of Shinjuku,
Look at
which
the
is
train
one of
tracks.
Tokyo's downtowns. So, Tokyo is one of the largest cities in the world.
Yeah,
There's
definitely.
almost 14 million people in the city and more than 37 million in the
Mm-hmm.
greater metropolitan area. And Tokyo is currently said to have the largest economy of any city in the world. So, in short, it's a massive city, and so space comes at a premium. There are
Yeah.
two basic types of apartments in Japan. One is apato, and those are usually smaller buildings, probably less insulated, but cheaper to rent. And
Yeah.
the other is the mansion type, which is this type here. They're often
Mansion.
bigger,
Mansion.
they use more concrete, and are generally more expensive
Mansion.
to rent.
Mansion.
My rent
Sounds the
here,
same.
including monthly fees, is 180,000 yen per month. So the
Yeah.
actual amount in US dollars
30K in
depends on the
rands.
exchange rate. I
Yeah.
just use $1,800 to make it a little bit easier to understand. Now, that price doesn't
That's
include
still
any
very
utilities, and
much
of course, there's initial costs and all of that. So be sure to check some of the links in the description for more information.
30K, bro.
This
Yes.
is the main entrance. There's a little loading and unloading zone here, and parking is over there under the track.
One thing, me as a South African, I've realized, which I highly appreciate, and I don't think people around the world actually know the struggle of the South African roads, is look how good it's paved. There's no potholes there. Now, a pothole, most of you probably know it if you're like in other Western countries, is a huge fucking hole that just appears in the middle of the road because of the stress of some vehicles on it. And yeah, in South Africa, they don't like to fix it properly. So if there's a pothole once, they fill it up with more tar and then and tar and rocks, teer, and then basically just leave it, and then it breaks again, and then they start leaving it forever or a few months, and then they fix it again. So I really appreciate this. I feel like these roads would be heaven to drive on, and I like
And that'll
driving.
cost you extra per month.
Ooh, the lobby looks clean.
There's a little waiting area in here just inside the doors,
I like these walls where the bricks are like weirdly shaped so they extrude a bit. I like the visual effect it gives.
and a little rock garden here for decoration.
Hmm.
This is the first security point. Residents can either use their key or swipe their train card to get in. And if you have a package waiting, there's a notification that will come up here. This is the
Okay.
lobby area. There's a front desk and building management office in the back. The staff here are really
Hmm.
nice. They always greet you and say bye to you when you leave, and then they'll welcome you back when you return. And they provide some services such as helping you schedule pickups, ship out stuff, get dry cleaning done. But of course, it does cost
Yeah.
extra. There's
Apartments
a
in South Africa
sofa
don't do
here to
that.
wait, and then there's a meeting area right there. And there's a couple of vending machines as well in case you're thirsty.
Late
So
night
next to the front
snacks.
desk
That's so
is
cool.
this mail area. Each apartment has
Hmm.
a small mailbox for paper mail and smaller items.
Yes.
And then there are these larger boxes for packages.
Packages,
So in
yeah.
Japan, most of the time you
I would love to implement this in South Africa. The thing is, people would steal the electronics. So that's why they didn't use it in South Africa, I'm pretty sure. Um, but yeah, also like people don't stay in apartments a lot in South Africa. Maybe if you're a uni student or something, you stay in a communal or a house, a university res house or something like that. Um, but even if you do find an apartment, it's not like the normalized apartments. It's more like the apato, whatever they wanted to call it. It's more similar to that, It's not like huge buildings stacked upon each other.
can choose
You don't have
windows
a
of a
lot of
few
that in
hours
South
at a
Africa.
time for
Maybe in
when you
Cape
want your
Town, but not
package
like in the area
delivered.
where I'm
But
from.
if something arrives when you're not at home, the mailman can leave it in these mailboxes here. You can unlock these boxes
That's
by
smart.
using your train card, and like I just said, you get a notification that you have a box when you return home, and there's a light that goes off in your apartment intercom as well.
That's sick. It's
So
very
outside
convenient.
here, there's a little courtyard area. Unfortunately, as with most buildings in Japan, there's no barbecue area and there's no outdoor lounges or anything, and there's no
Ooh, that looks
rooftop
sick.
access either.
For some
So
friends
it's
to just
really
sit and
not
chill.
used all that much. I'll show you a little bit more around the vicinity of the complex because this kind of thing is really related to the costs, and not every area
Yeah,
in
the
Tokyo is the
area.
same. But I'll do that after this apartment tour, so stick around
There's
for
a
now.
gym,
So
Fit
there's
Field
another
24.
security door that you have to go through. It can be a pain sometimes, especially if you're carrying a lot of stuff. And you also have to ring people in twice. There are two
Eh,
elevators here.
it's
They're
not too
both
bad.
kind of small, maybe
Security is a very
because
good
we're on a
thing
smaller
to
wing
have.
with less floors, but they're on the modern side since this building was built in 2010. I notice a lot of buildings in
2010.
Japan are like this, where they have sections of the building that are technically separated from each other. I think it's for earth.
Yeah, it's for earthquakes and also the heat in Japan. Basically, what they do is, let me quickly go back. You see that little covering there? That's basically just a cover, and in between that, there's like teeth, like tooth, almost like a gear system that are near each other, basically. So when the building gets hot, it expands because that's what's happening when you expand, and then they push into each other, and then you can have that movement as well as when you get cold, they pull away, they shrink a bit the buildings, they pull away each other. It just prevents cracks in weird spaces, like of course this little bridge, you want to call it. And it can also be for earthquakes because if one building is connected to each other, of course, when there's an earthquake, they're gonna try and tend to pull what like out of one another. But with this, it has that movement, so it can still move as a separate building from the other buildings. It just makes sense why they
Like
do
this,
that.
where they have sections of the building that are technically separated from each other. I think it's
Mm,
for earthquakes because it allows each section of the building to sway on their own. So I
yeah,
guess that's good. And here's the
but
apartment.
it's mostly for the heat
There's a
because you guys get a
doorbell
lot of
and a
heat in
rack for
Japan.
umbrellas. And this is what is called the
They do it with
Genkan, or the
bridges as well,
entrance
by the way.
area. We take off our
You
shoes
can't
here
just build
because it's
one
probably
bridge
dirty
connected.
and we don't want to bring it
You'll see
inside,
there's always like
obviously.
sections.
So to the left of the main hallway is the toilet. It's separate from the shower so that when you use one, it doesn't take up the other.
Points for being a
Plus, the
Japanese
toilet is
toilet.
dirty and showers are for getting clean, right?
Yeah.
So it's got a remote, a bidet. You can control the temperature and strength, and there's a drying function as well.
These toilets are
And
way
then
too
there's a
advanced to
big
me. I've
flush
never
and small
seen
flush
one of these.
options
I haven't
so
even
that
seen
you're
a
not
bidet
using the
in my
max
life.
amount of water each time.
Can you imagine not even knowing how a bidet looks? I've seen it on videos and stuff, but I've never seen one in person. We are a toilet paper nation, the South Africans. Some people are probably rich enough to have these things in their house. Most of the people in South Africa are probably lower middle class or low class. So we don't have these things.
You flush.
Wash your hands
And
while
to
the
the
toilet
right
refills
is the
noise.
bedroom. It's nothing fancy. It's really kind of small, especially with that big TV that I've kept for some reason for several years in the
Mm.
corner. The bed
Yeah, I would, if you have money, invest into a wall rack for the TV because you get a lot of these ones with arms that you can sway into position if you want, and you can put it. It'll increase your space normally. Oh shit! Why did I click there?
is a full size bed. It's pretty hard to find a bedroom that can accommodate a bigger size bed
Mm,
in Tokyo.
the bed's a good,
So
well
this is pretty
placed.
much what we could fit
It's
in
the most
reasonably.
comfortable place.
There are a couple of windows, so we get pretty decent light coming in,
Mm,
and then there's an AC unit and a light fixture up above as well.
I wouldn't mind having an
Closet
AC unit in my
space
room.
is a little tight in this apartment, especially for two people living in a place that has a winter. So we're pretty maxed
Doesn't
out
most
here,
places
as you
have a
can
winter?
see.
Even South Africa has a
So
winter.
because that closet is a little tight, we had to convert our hallway closet into a clothing closet as well. So we're using
Yeah, but normally, normal people don't have a lot of clothes. I know it's different for women because they like to have like clothes for each day of the year. But normally you'd like put the bigger things, the coats and stuff into this closet, and the smaller things like t-shirts that can be, pressed together basically into the other one. But it makes sense.
these
I also don't have a
drawers,
lot of
which are
closet
from
space, but
Muji,
I make it work
and
because
we
I don't need a lot of
installed
things.
these hangers here and shelf just to pretty much fit as much stuff in here that we could. So it's really not
Innovative,
nice
very
to
well
look
done.
at, but we needed the space.
Yeah, it makes
And
sense.
across the
So,
closet is the bathroom.
oh,
It's a sliding door for some reason.
more space. They do that so because if you have to open the door, you couldn't put the washing machine there, and it's for space reason. If the opening door takes away that space because you can't like designate that space to anything. But if you put a sliding door in, it's only that little space that is like cut out from the interior design almost basically. So it makes sense why they do that. In very cramped spaces, sliding doors are a way to go. I also like sliding doors for like pantries and stuff because you want to maximize the space they can use in there. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if
So
it's
I think
normal,
it's a
but
pretty decent
it's
size,
something that
definitely
feels
bigger
good to do.
than my last apartments that I lived in. We have a washing machine here, which is really convenient
Mm,
to have, obviously. And this is my third apartment in Japan, but
Panasonic.
this is the first time I've had the option to use hot water to wash
We
clothes. So
always
you
use hot
control
water
it
here in South Africa.
here. This is the
Well,
hot knob, and
my
this
family
is
does.
the cold water knob.
Oh, I don't like that
There's a
sound.
sink here, heated mirror cabinets up there,
Mm,
a small closet here for towels and stuff,
pretty basic. It's all you
and
need.
now the shower.
Oh,
So
that
it's
was
a
a
flat
satisfying one.
floor and
It's a unit
bathtub
bath.
unit.
Yeah.
This is the controls for the shower, and the
Mm,
shower is a handheld one. You can either latch it up here or you can put it up here and then adjust the height on this vertical pole here.
okay.
This is the controls for the bathtub. You can
Hmm.
have it heat the water to the temperature you want,
It
fill
looks
up the
kind of
tub to
dirty
the
though,
amount that
control.
you want. You can have it circulate the water to keep the temperature steady, as well as reheat water that you already have.
Yeah, I've realized now, I haven't pointed this out before, but Japanese people reuse the water a lot, like in a bath. They just reheat it. I don't know if I could do that. I know they technically wash themselves before they get into the bath, but I mean, you can't wash off everything and there's still shit that's going to contaminate that water. I don't know if I could do that. I know it's a culture thing, but I don't know. Right now, as I am now, I would not share bath water with anyone. I don't like people going to my bath water, and I don't like going to other people's bath water. I don't know if I'm the only one that feels that
Happened
way.
there. But what's great about the shower is that it doubles as a dryer for your clothes. So this vent up here will do that. You can
Yeah,
just
it
hang your
becomes a
clothes on
dryer,
this
hang it
bar
there. Yeah,
and
pretty
run
basic
it, and it'll
unit
dry
bath
over
thing.
a few hours, which is a while, but it's actually better than the dryers usually because it doesn't use that
Mm.
intense heat and doesn't make your clothes feel all crispy and weird.
South Africans also like to have windows in our bathrooms, but I see they don't do that. I know that's the point of I don't know, the dryer thing on it basically just sucks out all the moisture in there. But we like to open windows after we shower to let out the moisture, basically just to make the entire room regulate again.
So I like that, especially in the winter when it's cold and wet
Mm,
outside. And you control that here um,
damn.
on this control panel,
Yeah,
and you
you're
can
gonna
adjust
have
the
to learn
time
Japanese, bro.
that you want it to run
If
for.
I ever want to go there, I'm gonna at least have to understand the basics, not the
Okay,
kanji, just the
now
normal
for
shit.
the living room and kitchen area.
It's
The
big.
kitchen area
It's
is
big.
in
It's big
this
enough.
corner here, but it's not blocked off or anything. There's a sink and drying rack.
Big sink.
Very small counter space, which tends to be pretty common in Japan for some reason.
Yeah.
I find that strange because Japanese
To keep your oils and shit, other flammable things right next to a gas burner. You have some balls. I would not do that. I don't know. I would always think something's gonna catch on fire if I accidentally spill something or if the fire's a bit too big.
meals usually have a
It
bunch
feels
of different dishes,
scary.
and there's really no space to cook all of that. Rice cooker, of course,
I
and a
hate
gas
rice.
stove with 3 burners
I,
and
I
a
it's fine, but
grill
I
for
would
cooking
prefer not to
fish.
eat it.
The burners have a sensor, so it shuts off if it senses that it gets too hot or that you're actually not cooking anything on it, which is pretty cool.
Hmm.
And over here we have
The
our
fridge.
fridge. The fridge is a
Microwave
little
on
bit
the
small
fridge.
because we're
Yeah.
using the one that my wife was using when she
They like Panasonic, I've seen, but yeah, I've seen people in uni do the same thing in their rooms, put the microwave on top of the fridge. I never understood that. I guess it's to save space, but I would just feel awkward because I like to use the microwave a lot. My favorite thing to eat is a melted cheese on bread. It's just so delicious for me. So me just having to, well, yeah, put it in there and then close it because I want a big fridge and shit like it feels weird.
used to live by herself. But it's not so bad because it
The
forces
fridges
us
in
to
my
have
house fit me about here if I stand up. So we have big fridges.
fresh
So it
food all the
wouldn't work for
time,
us,
and it
especially in
gives
South
us
Africa.
little nook here for our trash. Unfortunately, for
Hmm.
cans and bottles and stuff, we have to put it separately over here, but oh well. And this is our
You have a
microwave
neat
that
country that
doubles as a
something
oven.
to do
So
that. The
there's
oven as
automatic
well.
settings for all kinds of things like chicken karaage, which is like fried chicken, chawanmushi, which is an egg custard, chocolate cake,
Egg
toast.
custard.
I mean, there it says there's like 31 different settings here, which is pretty cool. And my wife uses this to make things like Thanksgiving turkey and ribs too, so it's really pretty good and
Hmm.
convenient. This here is
I'm
another
guessing he's
control panel,
American.
which you can control the bath, so you can pretty much turn on the bath and get it ready while you're doing stuff in the kitchen. And then this here is the intercom, so when somebody rings the doorbell downstairs, we can see who it is and we can buzz them in. And we can
That's
also
cool.
see if we have a package that was delivered and we just didn't pick it up.
Got a
So this
flashing
is
light
our
over there.
living room area. We got a bit greedy and got a sofa that is a little bit too big for the amount of space that we have, but
Okay, I see he's got like his monitor or something set up here. That's pretty cool. But I mean, in today's age, people don't actually eat around a dining table anymore. Like sometimes we don't have a dining table. We've got like an island built onto our kitchen with chairs that you can sit on, more like a breakfast bar. And that's where we tend to eat. We've got in the lapa, we've got a big bench looking at a table. That's where we eat if we brunch, stuff like that. But I feel like you can save some space by just taking away the dining table. Like I said, not a lot of people eat at dining tables anymore.
Whatever. Most of
Maybe
the
they
stuff
do.
we
I
have in
haven't
here
realized
is
that
from
people do
IKEA.
that a lot.
So these coffee tables here, these shelves on the
What's with
side of the
all the
TV,
wine?
and the TV
What's with all the wine and the whiskeys? Is that whiskey? Maybe a cognac, but
stand as well.
why is there so
We
many of them?
meant to sell the shelf that's on this side here, this brown one, because it was from before, but we just didn't really get
Came
around to it.
inconvenient, yeah.
And I bought this picture frame from IKEA, and I did not buy the picture to put it in, so that's
That's
kind of a
Starbucks.
waste. The total space of this apartment is around 47 square meters, which is about 506 square feet. That is actually slightly
47
larger
square meters is small, bro.
than a lot
It's
of the
very
one
small.
bedroom apartments that we saw when we're looking around, so that is really nice. So on this
30K for
shelf
one
here, we have
bedroom.
a
Oh,
toaster oven that we
yes,
usually use for toasting bread
that's a
and
lot of
sometimes
money, bro.
making
A lot of
casseroles and
money.
stuff. This is my wife's granola. She's into making her own granola these days, which is kind
Is
of
it
cool
muesli?
because
Is
it
it
tastes
granola or
really good.
muesli? I hope it's muesli.
Some matcha making things, Nespresso machine here, hot water
They
pot,
definitely use
some
the
coffee
space to the
and tea
max.
stuff, and some snacks kind of thrown in there.
I'm
We're
gonna
pretty
skip through
much
this. Yeah, it's basically just an office area, technically for him.
since COVID started, and we're hybrid right now, but I pretty much just been working at home.
Yeah,
And this is where I do all my video and photo editing. So everything I've made recently has been made right here. Okay,
that's
here's
a
the
very
balcony.
small key,
There
like,
are sliding doors to either
keyboard.
side
I
of
don't
this
think I'll
window
use
that
that.
go out here. One thing that we really liked about this place was that one, there was a balcony, and two, it was bigger than all the other places we saw. So we can
You see, I would get a Weber, a Weber Brai. And I would place it right there in the corner. You can take the South African out of Africa, but you can't take the South African out of the Africa. I don't know. I don't know what I wanted to say, but basically, I will braai. I don't like braaiing right now, but I'm pretty sure I'll miss it when I leave. So I would definitely look for a way to incorporate braai into not my daily life, occasional life, but yeah, Weber braai, right fucking there. I don't care about my neighbors. I'm just joking. I'll probably like not put a chimney on it. You can angle the thing for the smoke to come out the other way, so I'll point the smoke that way. But yeah, and then you can put a little table out
put
here,
chairs
something
out
like that.
here and tables and sit and have
Mm,
lunch. This is where we hang our laundry to dry.
yeah.
So we have a couple poles here, and you can adjust them. So you can bring this down like that.
It doesn't get a lot of sun. If you think about it, the buildings, let's say this is the building, these are the other buildings, so it's between like 12 and maybe 6 that you may like. No, how late does the sun? Yeah, let's say 12 and 6 that you actually get sun into your
Or lock
house
it
from
upright.
this side, which is
And
not
then
a lot of
down
sun.
here, this is the fire
Fire
escape.
escape, yeah.
So you can lift this up here, and you can crank this crank that's located in there, and it'll lower a ladder down to the floor below you. So if you
Hmm,
look up above, this
that's pretty
is the
sick.
fire escape from the apartment right above us. And you just keep doing that, and you can get to the ground floor.
Very
We don't have a
smart.
great view because there's like a lot of buildings right around us, but it's not too bad because we face the street down below.
Yeah,
So there's
that's
the
a
street
decent
below,
view,
and we
I
are
would
a corner
say.
unit, which is very nice. And then if you look way out there, I don't know if you
That's
can see it,
Tokyo.
but that's the Shinjuku skyline.
Oh, Shinjuku. Oh yeah,
Okay, so
everything is
that's pretty
Tokyo.
much it for the actual apartment.
All right, then that is me. I'm gonna say that this place is a solid 9 out of 10. It looks like a house. It looks like people actually live there. It looks comfortable. Um, decoration is pretty decent. Space is decent. They didn't go for anything; they just bought that they want and put it there, which is I like that sort of style. It makes such a unique environment. So I'm definitely gonna give this a 9 out of 10. But that's gonna be me. If you guys end up enjoying, what do like, subscribe, share, notify yourself, unlock my really cool by clicking the notification bell. Hopefully, you guys enjoy because that is the most important part. Spreading it all to buy some, of course. Hopefully, you guys enjoy, and hopefully, I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.